I truly believe that God's plan and God's timing is absolutely real, and it just happened to me last week. You know, the past few weeks for me has been, or I'll say the past few months for me has been a roller coaster of emotions. It's been also a change of focus. I started to somewhat distant myself away from God, not on purpose, but just like things are getting busy. A lot of things are getting on my plate. My priorities are some kind of switching up, and even with my content, I used to just post for the love of the game, and now I'm starting to care a lot more about the numbers and things like that. And when a video doesn't do too well, my faith kind of dies down a little bit on myself and on God. And I just start to shame myself for not making this video as best as I could. With this moment that I experienced last week, I have a friend named James, one of my best friends. I made a video about him a couple months ago saying how he's the one that really introduced me to my faith. He's the one that's helped me even get with the Bible and just answer some of my questions about the Bible that I have about Jesus. And he's been inviting me to this thing called the River Worship. Shout out to River Worship, they're amazing. And he's been inviting me to this thing for weeks now, and I didn't go. Not because I didn't want to, but because just schedule wasn't lining up. I was busy. I have a lot of things on my plate, as I explained. But last week it was just, I don't know, something in my heart told me the day before this event. I just told myself, like, I have to go. Like, you know, my faith's been dying down. I barely read my Bible now, and I just need to hear the word of God. I just need to hear something, right? Not just through Spotify. I need to hear it somewhere. This time I willingly text my boy. I willingly text James and said that, yo, are you going to the River Worship tomorrow? And he said yes. So that also made me happy too. You know, I don't want to go alone, but I feel like I would have still went even if I was alone. But who knows what I would have done. But he didn't even ask me that time. You know, the past constant few weeks, it was always him hitting me up, asking if I'm going, and he's even offering me to drive me back home. It's all the way in Ajax. I'm in Mississauga. To those who know the distance, you know. The day comes, I'm fighting a bunch of things like temptation, laziness, just a lot of things that are not helping me fulfill, to help fulfill my full potential. I went, and the River Worship started, right? Worship started, and I didn't know the songs as much. Right? I don't know much about the songs. I don't listen to much worship, which I should get into more. And yeah, when the talk came in, it was a talk about faith. It was something like faithful over famous. And that just hit me straight in the heart too, because like out of all the things that you could have talked about, it has to do something with fame. It has to do something about social media, which I do. And I've been thinking about the numbers. I've been thinking about my, not even accomplishments, y'all. I've been thinking about my future goals and just degrading myself because of how far I am from that. Even though I've already accomplished so much, I've already went so far that I wouldn't be able to think that I'd be able to achieve, right? And it literally talked about how I need to be grateful for wherever I am. I need to have faith even during times of hard times, even times when things are little, because it is really easy to be faithful when things are going your way or going good, you know? And that's exactly what I went through, what I'm going through. Right? It was super easy for me to talk about Jesus. It was super easy for me to talk about just being faithful and being happy when times are tough, when really things were just going really good for me. That's why I had such a good, you know, mind and motivation to speak about it. You know, I'm not saying that I'm completely turned away from God when things are going not my way, but it's just my faith really does take a toll when things are not going well. So yeah, that whole talk was just about that. It was talking about how you need to stay faithful even though things are not going well for you, because that just speaks about your character, and you will appreciate the good times way more when you are faithful during the hard times, because obviously when good times come, it's like, wow, you stick through it, you're here now. Embrace the gifts of God, right? And yeah, that just hit me in the heart. And I was like, again, like what I said a few minutes ago, like out of all the topics you could have talked about, you had to talk about something that has to do with me. And not on like no ego, none of that. I know other people out there in that venue also related to it, but it was just like, out of all the days that I could have went to, this talk was the perfect one for me. And that just spoke to me because something in my heart a few days ago was telling me to go to this event, not knowing about what the talk would be. Maybe it's about something, I don't know, something else that may not be too related to me, but I can somewhat connect the dots with that talk in my life. But no, this talk is about fame. This talk is talking about the wrong desires, the wrong look on things. Like, be faithful over famous. My whole thing is being a content creator, and being famous helps with that. So, you know, but what's the craziest part is that I turned this camera on for a reason and wanted to talk about is because the worship songs I didn't know, right? And they were hitting. They were really good. I was singing, looking at the lyrics, really relating it to my life. But I was like, after that talk, that just put me in an emotional state, in an emotional mood. And then 3 worship songs right after the talk is finished. The first 2 worship songs I didn't know once again, but I was feeling it because I was really thinking about the talk. And on the second last song, I prayed to God, right? I prayed to him. I bowed my head and I asked him if, God, I've been feeling this heartfelt desire or just this burning sensation in my heart to go to this event tonight. And, it's no coincidence that this talk was over fame, over social media, over my wrong desires to, being faithful during the good times and not being faithful during the hard times, which I'm currently literally going through. So I asked God and said that, Lord, if I was really meant to be here today, if I was really meant to be here and this is your doing, the last worship song I will know by heart. Man, when I tell you that my heart was beating so fast as to if God will really do this, I was really about to I told myself yo, if this last song is something that I know, word for word, beat by beat, heart for heart, man, I'm bawling. I'm crying my eyes out. And you wouldn't even guess. You wouldn't even be able to fathom what song played next, man. Second last song of worship ended. It was going very smooth, It's getting emotional. I hear I hear the beat. I hear the drums playing. The instruments are killing it. The first beat of this song, I was looking up, right? I prayed. I finished my prayer. Amen. I look back up, really just hoping that this next song I know, because I also want to sing my heart out finally, knowing the lyrics and things like that, closing my eyes while singing. It's a different feeling rather than just looking at the lyrics. Man, when I tell you that first note of this last song, as soon as I heard it, I put my head down and I started crying. The last song of this worship was Goodness of God. That song I've been playing repeat on repeat the past few months because of how good this song is. Y'all know the song Goodness of God. It's like, I love you, Lord, for your mercy never fails me. That song. And I have lived, I can hail in your name. I don't know the lyrics, but it's like, the moment that I wake up until I lay my hand, oh, I will sing of the goodness of God. That song. And it's like, bro, I was just singing my heart out like, in all my life you have been faithful. Oh yes you have. Oh yes you have. And all my life you have been so good. It's like, bro, you can't even understand like what I was going through, because man, I was playing this song, like as I said a few seconds ago, I was playing this song on repeat every single day to feel something. And man, it was hitting in the car too. Like it was hitting through Spotify. Imagine hearing that in a venue where an actual band is playing it, where an actual like team is playing it, piano, guitar, drums, a singer that's really good. Oh my gosh. At that moment I was like, I was crying. I couldn't even sing the lyrics anymore. I was literally just bawling my eyes. I was literally there crying like, oh God, this is all you. I'm serious. Like I was there, just there. I was really soaking in that moment, because I never, it's been a while since I felt that type of love. It's been a while since I felt that type of realization where this is God's doing. God really put me there in that specific day, in that specific moment, for that specific talk. Out of all the days I could have went to, out of all the invites that James invited me that I could have went to, today was the day I felt like going, and it wasn't even James inviting me for that day. It was me willingly going because God told me to. God put that burning desire in my heart, that flame is just flaming in my heart, telling my head to just go. I didn't even want to go. I wanted to just stay home, potentially do some more editing and just drown in sorrow once again. But this really healed me, and it was something else, man. First time I felt this ever, it was one of those days. It was actually the turning point of my life, of my faith. It was during a camp. Shout out to Camp Glorious, I think. Hopefully I'm right. But it's one of the camps in my youth group that I was recording, and it was a really tiring 3 days of camp. I was the videographer, same event day recap, so I had to get an event recap out for the third day. I was really tired, barely talked to my friends, barely any sleep. I was editing, and by that third day, I was just asking God, please wake me up. I need to finish this, or else I have failed myself. I have failed you. And when I tell you, y'all, like that again, that last worship, it wasn't any of like the songs and everything. I knew the songs and stuff like that, but I was so tired that when it got to the end of the worship, I really had to lock in, because I also had to get footage for that worship at the end, the closing remarks. And I had to go back to the editing, even though I wanted to just stay so bad and just listen to the songs and cry my heart out. I had to go back to edit on the like backstage or whatever. Something told me in my head when I was back there, you know, I filmed I filmed the first 2 songs. There's 3 songs in the closing remarks. 3 songs, yeah. 3 to 5? I think 5, sorry. I think there was 5 songs for the closing remarks of worship. I filmed 3, and the last 2 I was told to go back and edit so I have time. Something in my head told me to just stay for the last 2 worships, because something in me told me that I could still finish this despite the time given, despite, you know, me not editing during those last 2 worships. Those last 2 worships I was crying. I was happy, I was stressed, I was feeling all types of emotion. But that's truly the moment I felt that, God is real. And like it was like, I can't even explain it. It's that trust in the Lord that, you're supposed to edit during these last 2 worships, but instead you took your time to worship the Lord. And eventually, I finished the video anyways. They gave me an extra 5 minutes. I had to lock in. I was crying, like tears falling down my eyes. But obviously, as soon as worship ended, I was like, okay, let me lock in. God gave me the time to worship Him and still finish that video. I don't know where I'd be right now if I just kept on going and not saying my heart out within those last 2 worships. But it's just, the reason why I'm telling you all this is because having trust in the Lord is just something that you just gotta do it. It's hard because obviously in your own head you could also think about like, dude, what if it just doesn't work out? What if I really wasn't meant to be here and I'm just making fake delusions for myself? I was thinking that too. But it's something else when you just believe and it happens, and you ask God for a simple thing, like, I don't know, like what I just talked about. Like, if this last worship song is a song that I know, then I was meant to be here. This is all you're doing. And when that last worship song played and it was Goodness of God, is different. God's plan and God's timing is real. You just have to believe in it. Because if you don't believe in it, why do you expect for it to happen if you don't even believe in it? You have to trust in God's timing. You have to trust in God's plan. And He will show you that He is real. He will show you that He meant to put you here at this exact moment. You will feel His love if you just believe. That's the thing that a lot of people confuse and don't do, is that they don't believe, but they want to feel God's love. And it's like, how do you expect yourself to find it out and experience it for yourself if you don't even have a single pebble of trust that it will happen? It's the same thing as like going for your dreams. Like, nobody else will believe in you if you don't believe in yourself. And you have to create that foundation. And that foundation is you. You have to believe in yourself in order for other people to believe in you, because why will someone else believe in you if you don't even believe in yourself? It can only get to a certain point as to, maybe your parents believe in you, but you don't. And I get that there's some people out there, there's some parents out there who will still believe in their son or kid, even if their kid doesn't believe in themselves. But my point is that you can't expect it to happen to you if you don't even have faith in it. You have to believe in it. And if things don't work out, then best believe there's a bigger reward coming your way later on. Or maybe it just wasn't meant to happen because, again, there is something better coming your way eventually. And I can only say this so much. I can only talk about it so much because it's really about experience. It's really about building your testimony. And the only way to build your testimony is to experience these things. And that's why I'm explaining and talking about this testimony of mine, is because I was losing faith within myself. I was losing faith within my works. And I was always just trusting God, but then not putting any action towards it after that prayer. And it's still something I deal with every day. Doubt is something that I've been fighting within my whole life. So it's a bit hard to just get back up on my own 2 feet. But I know that Jesus is real. You just have to believe and do your part. Because God will truly do His part. He's been doing His part. He's just waiting for you to take action till it's His turn. Once again, y'all, I just want to talk about that because, man, I had to get that out of my heart. And thank you to James, man. Love to my guy. Love to the River Worship. Shout out to y'all if y'all are listening to this. Y'all really made that day super special to me, even though y'all probably don't even know. I was there really taking it all in. I was soaking it all in, and I was like, I needed that. I needed to hear Jesus again. It's been a while since I've got in contact face to face with Jesus Christ, and to feel that again is just something else that I cannot explain, and it's only for y'all to experience yourself. So really what I'm trying to get out of this video is that God's timing and God's plan is real. You just have to believe. And believing is not easy. I get it. But it's a different feeling when you're just believing and really pushing yourself to the limit, and it happens. And it's like, wow. That's all I gotta do. Just believe, and it will happen. And if it doesn't, best believe that's a part of God's plan. And it is. So God's plan, God's timing is real. You just have to have faith. You have to trust. You have to believe. And it will happen within due time, within His perfect timing, not your timing. because your timing will ruin you in the future. Just know that. With that being said, y'all, I love y'all so much, man. One of the craziest things that's happened to me recently, and I gotta lock back in. I've been laying back a lot. I've been really just focusing on a lot of things, stressing about a lot of things that I shouldn't be stressing about, but we'll get over this sometime, someday, somewhere. Um, Jesus got us. We just gotta do our part. With that being said, let's say my motto, y'all. Make God happy. Make yourself happy. Make things reality. I love y'all so much, and I'll see y'all on the next episode. God's timing and God's plan is real. Peace.